Alright, I'm doing this video real quick to address Ted Cruz's non-stance on the on drug prohibition, his lawyer speak on the issue, and the fact that he not only doesn't have a stated position on drug prohibition, but chooses to only protest actions against drug prohibition, A. And B, also wanted to go over his misunderstanding of what the term rule of law means, and his vague understanding of what the term rule of law means. The problem is that, see, the rule of law means that the Constitution is the rule of law. And every other apparition, facade of an attempt to create laws that are in contravention with those laws are they don't exist. Those are the laws of man. And basically what that means is that they call it natural law. These are your natural rights. Basically what it means is the way things work in nature, the way things are, the way things work properly, and then things that cause society to collapse on a stockpile of, tens of thousands of nuclear weapons. And the fact that this isn't a democracy, it's a republic. And so, see, basically what it means is that the Constitution supersedes all laws. So if a president decides by executive order to say that these laws are gone, they're off the books, don't observe them, if they're not constitutional, they never existed in the first place. And the president, it's not that he can do that, it's just that if he does do that and people listen to him, then he's acted within the Constitution, A. And the people who have observed that action have simply chosen to observe the authority of the Constitution. And just because, something from the top gave them that, suggestion doesn't mean that they had to. I mean, you can shoot little kids on the side of the road if you want to, but the fact of the matter is that see, what Ted Cruz wants to do is Ted Cruz wants to invoke this idea that see, because Ted Cruz is for drug prohibition. Ted Cruz's wife is a Goldman Sachs vice president and very much enjoys the drug money laundry that goes on inside of her establishment, such as Wachovia caught laundering $378 billion a few years ago and was only given a $160 million fine. Yes, they enjoy it. They enjoy it very much, And you won't ever see Ted Cruz taking an actual stance on drug prohibition. Just like this, and there's a video that just came out by Reason TV, and it's called "Senator Ted Cruz on Obama and Drug Policy. No man is above the law, not even the president." I mean, look at how emphatic he is. Nobody can ever, stop. And you'll notice that he never takes a real position on drug prohibition. He simply sits there and says that there's arguments, and there's plenty of reasonable arguments, and we can have an intelligent discussion, and just on and on and on and on, but never once. I mean, he's a coward. He hides behind conjecture and rhetoric. He has kind of a little mannerism that kind of gets people hyped up and feeling like, all those warm feelings, like like they're siding up with some kind of folk hero or something, and like they're part of some little community or something, whatever freak thoughts that they have, the little and the little freakish mannerisms of Ted Cruz. And anyways, it's just getting old, and anyways, I mean, the man's a coward, man. I mean, can't even have a position on an issue. It's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. And so, I mean, there's going to be plenty of people out there that are going to support that. I mean, the whole right-wing propaganda forecourt press is coming down hard every time something happens to suggest that we don't need to have more people in prison than China behind, you know, consumption and possession of certain plants. But you know, then again, that just doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, come on, you know, gotta have that, you know, gotta have that, gotta have that. And you know, it's hard to even engage with all the numbers and the statistics and stuff when you're talking about literally possession of plants. I mean, what good could come of that? I mean, besides the obvious that all these people are being enslaved, I mean, over plants. I mean, do we really need to go into anything more? Isn't it kind of backbiting at that point? I mean, look, the point is it's just, I just have to talk about this because the guy's getting so much attention out there, and he will not, you know, simply stand up and say, you know, we really need to end drug prohibition, you know, or we really need to end the Federal Reserve, or yeah, I've heard him say we need to end Obamacare. That's kind of an entire partisan line, you know. That's part of the whole fake left-right paradigm of, you know, feeding into your hopes and your false hopes and your false ideas of what can actually be achieved by, you know, choosing an entire team, you know, sowing division and reaping discord, you know. I mean, you got people like John Boehner who belong in prison, but since he belongs to a team, well, that's my team. Bunch of meathead, retard, steroid freak atmosphere life that I have to live here. I mean, it's just so ignorant. Reminds me of this kid when I was in high school, and he was saying, like, don't ever talk about football like that again. And this kid was like 400 pounds, about 7 foot tall. I was like, alright, dude, I won't ever talk about football like that again. And I was actually pretty good at football, but the school wouldn't take me because I came from another school which didn't even have a football team. Anyways, the point is you know, football's for kids, you know what I mean? But you know, adults, man, they get all bemused by it, and you know, that becomes their life, and then they're antagonistic towards anything else that has anything to do with, you know, common sense or putting 2 plus 2 together. And man, it's just. Anyways, I think I'm running out of things to say here, but Ted Cruz has no official position on drug prohibition. He will not ever take a position, you know, for or against drug prohibition. He simply plays lawyer speak games, and then but he has a problem. I'll tell you what he has a problem with. He has a problem with somebody trying to end drug prohibition. That's something he does have a problem with. Okay? Let's make sure we understand that. Okay? And he claims it's the rule of law and it's the Constitution that he wants to keep drug prohibition going. It's because he wants to save the Constitution, when it actually destroys the rule of law, as Albert Einstein tried to explain. You know, it can't be enforced. It's enslavement. I mean, seriously, when you put enslavement above justice, then what are we supposed to do when people take over this country for profit? Are we supposed to have any hope that more people are put in prison for the creation of crime than crime itself? That these people could ever see justice? When that's the case, it's like a backdrop in North Korea, to try to explain how we could ever improve anything in this country without resolving this. And it's just pretty obvious. It's just getting old. It's just getting old. And still waiting to hear from the guy on having a position on drug prohibition. Like I said before, I've done the legwork. I've gone to his website. Tried to find it. I would think that you would at least have it somewhere on the website. Considering we got more people in prison than China. Because of it. Would kind of think that maybe that might come up, but there you go. So it's not an issue until somebody tries to stop it. Just try to understand that, okay? Just try to understand that. I mean, it's difficult to understand, but just try, okay? It's difficult to understand, but just really try.